Hello students, in this module I'll be talking about bird pollination, also called as ornithophyly. So look, listen and learn. Now look at this beautiful picture again right behind me. What do you see? You see a hummingbird trying to get to the nectar of the flower, but indirectly it is performing bird pollination for that flower. Is that okay? So they say that the transfer of pollen grains through the agency of birds is called as ornithophyly. Here the word ornis means bird, and the word phyly we already know means loving or attracting. And obviously the plants that perform ornithophyly is also called as ornithophilous plants. Is that okay? Moving on. Let us see what should be the floral adaptations of ornithophyly. Once again, very colorful terms, because the flowers have to be very colorful. Not just that, the flower have to be large, they have to be attractive, and the floral parts have to be very thick. Is that okay? Because remember, they have to take the weight of the bird. Is that okay? So they have to be large, they have to be thick and fleshy. Does that make sense? Okay. And if you look at this flower, the corolla basically is in the shape of a tube. So they show tubular corolla, because in the tubular corolla they will store a lot of nectar, which is the main attraction for the bird. But for the plant or for the flower, it is actually pollination with the help of birds. That's why ornithophyly. Moving on. Let us now see these flowers. Some are orange, some are red, some are yellow, some are blue. So if you see, the flowers are very colorful, because different colored flowers will attract different type of birds. Is that okay? So the flowers are very colorful basically to help attract these insects. Does that make sense? Moving on. What you see here basically is a hummingbird trying to get to a flower which is filled with nectar. Now the hummingbird doesn't really know that it is not a real but an artificial flower. I'm trying to prove a point here. What I'm trying to say here is the flowers lack fragrance. They may be colorful, they may be attractive, but they lack fragrance because the birds have a very poor sense of smell. So what I'm trying to say here is that even though the flower has got no fragrance, as long as it has nectar, it is enough for that bird to get attracted and perform bird pollination. Is that okay? Moving on. What you see here once again is that bird trying to get to the nectar, because these flowers, as a result of their tubular corolla, produce a large amount of nectar, and this nectar is very sugary, and this nectar is used by these birds as a drink. Is that okay? And when they get to the nectar, indirectly what will happen? Indirectly, the beak of the bird will be covered with pollen, because the pollen grains are also very sticky, and they will stick onto the beak of the bird. And when this bird goes to another plant, pollination is achieved. Does that make sense? That is what is called as ornithophyly, by agency of birds. Is that okay? Moving on. Let us see some plants that perform ornithophyly. One example, what you see behind me, is callistemon. It is also called as bottle brush because it looks like a baby bottle cleaning brush. Does that make sense? Okay. And because of its beautiful appearance and color, it is going to attract bird for pollination. I've just tried to show you something like right here. Is that okay? Another example of ornithophilous plant includes this plant by the name of bignonia, right? Even bignonia, the flowers are big, large, attractive, and they will also attract birds for pollination. Is that okay? The next example is that of another plant with the name of bootea. Here also the floral parts, if you observe, are very large, very thick, very fleshy, and they are also going to attract birds for pollination. And last but not least, another plant or another flower that basically shows ornithophyly is the example called as bombax. Bombax also have large attractive flowers that will attract the birds for pollination. Remember, bombax is also called as silk cotton. That's a common name for it. Now let us see which are few of these birds that perform bird pollination. Few examples of pollinating birds include sunbird, then we all know our very favorite hummingbird. Then some more birds that perform pollination include crow as well as birds like bulbul. Is that okay? So in this module I've talked about bird pollination or ornithophyly. In the next module I'll be talking about yet another type of pollination which is called as bat pollination or chiropterophyly. Thank you and take care.